My friend, there are seasons in life when you look back over the road you've walked and realize that if it had not been for the gracious hand of God, you wouldn't be standing where you are today. You survived storms that should have broken you. You came through nights that should have buried you. You endured valleys that were darker than anything you ever imagined. Yet here you are, not because you were strong enough, not because you had it all together, but because His hand, His gracious hand, held you. Sometimes we think it was our own wisdom, our own determination, or our own strength that carried us through. But deep down, you know that it wasn't you. It was God reaching down, steadying your steps, covering your life, and opening doors that no man could shut. His hand has been the invisible force guiding you through moments when you couldn't see the way forward. That's the gracious hand of God. The scripture says, "The hand of the Lord was upon me." Those words are powerful because when God places His hand on your life, it changes everything. His hand doesn't just rest lightly. It lifts, it strengthens, it protects, it provides. His hand carries you when your legs give out, comforts you when your heart aches, and shields you from dangers you didn't even see coming. You may not have always recognized it, but the hand of God has been holding you all along. Think about a child learning how to walk. They stumble, they wobble, they fall. But when the father takes that little hand into his own, suddenly the child can take steps he couldn't take before. The grip of the Father doesn't just guide, it stabilizes. That's what God's hand does for you. You might have been stumbling, about to fall into something destructive, but His hand steadied you. His hand kept you from going too far, from making that decision that would have wrecked your destiny. His gracious hand has been your anchor. There are times when life presses so hard against you that you wonder, am I going to make it? And right in that place, God places His hand on you. When you thought you were alone, His hand was there. When you thought you were weak, His hand was strong. When you thought it was over, His hand was working behind the scenes, weaving together things you didn't even know you needed. The gracious hand of God not only protects you, but it positions you. Doors opened in your life that you didn't deserve. Opportunities came that you weren't even looking for. Blessings found you that you couldn't have orchestrated. That's not luck, that's the hand of God. His hand positioned you for favor you couldn't earn and victories you didn't fight for. Do you remember when the children of Israel stood at the edge of the Red Sea? The enemy was behind them, the waters in front of them, and fear rising inside them. But then the hand of God moved. Waters parted, a pathway opened, and what was impossible suddenly became possible. The same God who parted seas back then is still parting seas today. His hand can make a way where there seems to be no way. His hand can create a path through the impossible. Sometimes we only notice His hand when it's dramatic, when the seas part or the mountains move. But His hand is just as present in the small, quiet moments, the moments when you found peace in the middle of chaos, when you felt strength in your soul, though your body was weary, when you received provision right on time, though you didn't know where it was coming from. That's his hand too. The gracious hand of God is both mighty and tender. It shakes nations and yet wipes away tears. Beloved, his hand isn't just on your past, it's on your future. He's still writing your story, still shaping your destiny, still guiding your steps. You may not know how things are going to work out, but his hand knows. You may not see the whole picture, but his hand has already drawn it. You may feel small, but in his hand you are mighty. You may feel broken, but in his hand you are whole. Don't confuse where you are right now with where his hand is leading you. Just because it feels dark doesn't mean his hand isn't working. Just because it feels delayed doesn't mean his hand isn't moving. Sometimes God's hand is guiding you through seasons that don't make sense so he can place you in a season that does. Trust his hand even when you don't understand the journey. I want to remind you that his gracious hand is not fragile. It is powerful. It's the hand that created the heavens and the earth, the hand that formed you in your mother's womb, the hand that stretched out on a cross to save you. That same hand is holding you right now. If his hand was strong enough to hang the stars, it is strong enough to hold your life together. And here's the beauty of it. His hand doesn't let go. People may walk away, circumstances may shift, life may break your heart, but the hand of God is steadfast. He said he would never leave you nor forsake you. His hand doesn't slip in and out based on how good you are or how perfect your faith is. His hand is faithful even when you are not. His hand is gracious even when you fall short. His hand is steady even when you feel shaky. So if you feel weak today, take courage. His hand is on you. If you feel lost, be encouraged. His hand is guiding you. If you feel broken, be reassured. His hand is healing you. The gracious hand of God is not just a past memory, it is a present reality. You don't have to see it to know it's there. You don't have to feel it to trust it's working. His hand is on you, and his hand will never fail you. So rise up today with hope. Walk forward today with courage. Step into tomorrow with faith. Because the gracious hand of God is not only carrying you, it's leading you into greater things. Your best days are not behind you. They are still in front of you, held securely in his gracious hand. Think about Joseph, a young man with dreams bigger than his brothers could handle. He was thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, falsely accused, locked in prison. If you looked at his life at any of those stages, you'd say, this man is forgotten. This man is abandoned. This man is finished. But what you couldn't see was the gracious hand of God working behind the curtain. The very hand that allowed him to be lowered into the pit was the same hand that raised him into the palace. The same hand that permitted him to be hidden away in a prison was the hand that positioned him to stand before Pharaoh. That was not luck. That was not chance. That was the hand of God. And here's the truth for you. The same hand that lifted Joseph is the hand that is upon you. You might be in your pit season, but the hand of God hasn't left you. You might be misunderstood, overlooked, or even betrayed, but his hand is still guiding you toward the palace he has prepared. Don't mistake a low place for a lost place. His hand is still working, and when his timing is right, he will lift you where you belong. Or consider Ruth, a widow, brokenhearted, with her future uncertain. She had no plan, no guarantee, just faith that somehow her steps would lead her where she needed to be. But the hand of God was on her life. Step by step, field by field, harvest by harvest, she was guided into her destiny. She met her Redeemer, her life was restored, and her name was written into the lineage of kings. That's what happens when the hand of God is upon you. He can take your emptiness and turn it into overflow, take your sorrow and rewrite it into joy. And Daniel, he was thrown into the lion's den, sealed away with beasts meant to destroy him. But the hand of God was there, shutting the mouths of lions, protecting him in the darkest place. Don't tell me God's hand isn't powerful. If his hand can keep lions from devouring Daniel, his hand can keep fear from devouring you. If his hand can guard a man in the den, his hand can guard your mind in the battle. His gracious hand does not abandon you in the den. It shows up in the den to prove he is still God. Sometimes his hand shows up in ways you don't recognize. Think of Elijah weary and discouraged under a tree, ready to give up. God didn't shake the earth. He didn't split the skies. He didn't thunder with fire. He came in a whisper, in the gentle hand of provision, feeding his prophet bread and water, enough strength to go on. His hand doesn't always come loud and dramatic. Sometimes it comes quiet, with daily bread, with just enough strength to rise again. You may not notice it at first, but it's his hand carrying you through one day at a time. His hand is not only over individuals, it's over generations. Look back at your family. You might see times when the enemy tried to destroy your bloodline, tried to break your heritage, tried to stop the promise of God from flowing to you. But his hand preserved you. That's why you're still here. That's why you're still breathing, still fighting, still believing. His hand covered your grandmother's prayers, your mother's tears, your father's struggles, and brought you into this moment right here. His hand has been weaving through your history, preparing you for destiny. And don't think his hand is just for the heroes of Scripture. His hand is for you right here, right now. His hand is on the student who feels overwhelmed by pressure. His hand is on the single mother raising children. His hand is on the man searching for direction. His hand is on the weary heart that feels unseen. His hand doesn't discriminate. It doesn't abandon. It doesn't fail. His hand is gracious and his hand is on you. That's why you can face tomorrow. Not because you know all the answers, not because you have the resources figured out, but because his hand is already in your tomorrow. His hand has already gone before you. His hand has already prepared provision, already lined up opportunities, already worked out details you haven't even thought of. When you walk into a room and doors swing open, it's not just your R.A. Summe, it's his hand. When you receive favor you didn't even ask for, it's not coincidence, it's his hand. When things work out in ways you never could have orchestrated, that's the gracious hand of God moving on your behalf. Let me tell you, storms may rage, winds may blow, but his hand still holds you steady. People may doubt you, critics may rise against you, but his hand still validates you. Circumstances may shift, but his hand never shifts. His hand is consistent. His hand is faithful. His hand is unshakable. So lift up your head today. Wipe the tears from your eyes. Straighten your back. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are not finished. The hand of God is still on your life. And if his hand is on you, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. No lie spoken over you shall prevail. And no obstacle in front of you shall stand forever. So today, I want you to walk out of here with this truth anchored deep in your heart. The gracious hand of God is on you. It has always been on you. It is on you right now, and it will carry you into the days ahead. When life shakes you, his hand steadies you. When fear whispers to you, his hand silences it. When the enemy plots against you, his hand blocks it. You are not walking through this life alone. You are being held, covered, and guided by the almighty hand of God. If his hand brought you through everything you've already survived, don't you think his hand is strong enough to carry you through what's ahead? If his hand protected you in the valley, won't it also lift you to the mountain? If his hand opened doors in your past, won't it also open doors in your future? He is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and his hand has not lost its power. So rise with confidence, breathe with peace, and live with unshakable faith. You are chosen, you are loved, and you are covered. God's gracious hand is not only on your life, it is your life's greatest assurance. Walk boldly because his hand will never let you go. Thanks for watching.